So recently I've been posting a lot of clips and a lot of people are asking me, Chirich, what are your settings? So today we're going to talk about that. So we're going to talk about the settings that I use when I play Krunker, the reasons why I use them and the advantages that they give me. But before we do that, I just want to give everybody a quick reminder. I do stream on Twitch every week. And if you have any other questions about settings or mods that I use or anything like that, you can ask me there while I'm live. Also, we have a great Discord that's slowly growing as I make more videos. So if you want to join that, the link will be in the description below. As of right now, we don't have a creator code that you can use when buying KR, but we're working on it. We're working on it. Soon we might have a code for you guys to use. Anyways, now that all that shameless self-promotion's out of the way, we're going to go ahead and look at our settings and we'll get a look at what I use. So I've pulled up the settings here that I use. We're going to start at the top of the list and make our way down. I'm going to show you some of the things that I use and the reasons why that I use them. I will say when I first started the game, I used the pro settings that gave me better, like a better field of view and better crosshair. And then I did a lot of the performance stuff that you'd see, like low settings, things like that, because I'm trying to get as much FPS as possible, just as high as I can make it. So we'll start right off. Lag compensation, they did take it away. It's back now. I don't know why. I never touch it. I just leave that alone. Where we start to see the settings that make it more personal is in the performance here. So resolution, I always leave it at 1. I play at 1920 by 1080, no stretch resolution, anything like that. I leave it at 1. Some people who have computers that aren't as strong can lower this. It'll start to look a little blocky, but you'll get a higher FPS if you're struggling there, but I just leave it at 1. Frame cap is 1200. I never get anywhere near that. If I could, I would be very happy. I usually hit around like 600, so that's usually where I sit around. Low spec on, that will remove the legs of the characters, which also helps FPS. Particles off, particle distance, pretty much anything to do with the appearance of the game is set to off to maximize performance. Bullet trails I left on because I like using the sniper and I like seeing the trail of the bullet, and it I get to rage when I see the sniper bullet in somebody, but they didn't die. But that's a conversation for another day. UI scale, I usually have a 0.7, raised it up to 0.8, just so you guys can see the settings a little better on video. Show UI and all that stuff I have on. Dynamic health bars you could turn off if you're looking for a little more performance as well. I just leave it on. Damage scale, 0.6. Pretty much anything informational I leave on. A lot of people like to have less clutter on the screen, and if you do, you can turn all these off and turn the UI scale down. That will make it easier to see more of the game and less things will be on screen. None of that stuff really matters in the way that the game performs or the way that you play. Neither does chat. I like having it on because I like hitting them with a good old GG at the end of the match. Now crosshair is where we start to get to things that people might be interested in. I use a custom crosshair and I do cross. A lot of people ask me like where that comes from. Because I'm playing the game, I have this little yellow crosshair in the center of the screen here, and people ask how that's always there, even on the sniper. So that's how I do it. And when you use this crosshair, you'll have one that does not like expand and shrink as you're moving around. It just stays completely solid in the center. So I have a nice yellow color on it. Yellow's easy to see. It's always the center of attention of the screen. I set to always show, which is how I have it to stay on in the scope at all times. Shadow thickness 1 to give it a bit of a border to stand out from the background. Thickness is 2 and size is 6. All those settings help me keep my eye on the reticle. It's not too big, not too small. It's just the perfect size. Now, if you're looking at sensitivity, I play at 0.4 and my aim sensitivity is 0.47. Bringing it up to 0.47 makes it so that when I'm aiming down sight, it still feels very similar to when I'm not. If you leave both of these at 0.4 or if you leave all of these values at the same, your aim down sight speed will be a lot slower than when you're just looking around, not aiming down sight. And then more importantly, because this matters, mouse DPI is 800. That does make a difference in sensitivity. Streamer mode off, that's new. I was told it doesn't work that well. Controller, we don't even have to talk about that. If you use controller, props to you. I don't know how you move or anything like that, but I've heard some people are pretty good with it. So hey, master volume 0.3 because this game is loud. You want that down. Ambient volume, everything like that. The only thing I don't have on is voice volume because people don't talk in this game, and when they do, they're not saying anything good, and it's usually just random noises in the mic. That brings us down to field of view. Field of view, 120. Weapon field of view, also 120. If they're not the same for me, it feels really out of sync and feels very strange. I'm at both at 120 so I can see as much of the screen as possible. Lets me get a huge range of vision so I can spot enemies better. As well as it makes me feel fast as brick, boy. You feel faster the higher it is. You will feel extremely slow the lower it is. If you don't use the high field of view, I suggest you turn it up and see how much faster you feel. Weapon bobbing is currently at 1.0. I'm actually going to turn that off. I usually don't like having that on. Weapon bobbing is basically when you're running around, your gun will bounce around on screen. If you turn that to 0, it won't move at all, which I usually have it at 0 so it doesn't move and it's not bringing my attention to the gun rather than the center of the screen. If you're interested in the offset, here's the settings for it. These just determine where your gun sits on the screen. So if you look in the background here by the gun, if I move this around, you'll see the gun move to different positions. The way I have it set up is just kind of off to the right more, so it's not in the middle of the screen. Weapon aim animation on. A lot of people like to turn this off so that the gun does not show when they're aiming down sight. So you get to see more of the screen. I leave it on. The hands I do turn off because I do like removing those from underneath the gun so I can see more of the screen as well. Basically, a lot of these allow you to customize it more so you can see more of the game. But just to keep some of the prettiness of the game, I leave some stuff on. Editing, a lot of this is personal preference, doesn't really matter. Pop-up scale, this is pretty much all default. I haven't touched anything here except saturation. We're actually going to turn it up in the UI as well. Saturation I turn up, just makes the game look a little brighter, more happy. Pretty much everything there has stayed the same. Custom bullet tracer, changed the tone of yellow a little bit so I can see where my bullets are going. We got the scope image here that I use, which if we go in game real quick, this is that precise one that I always use. I can link that in the description if anyone's interested in using that. Also have the hit marker image, which is just like a slight variation on the normal one. Have the reticle image, which it's just a yellow dot instead of a red dot. You get down to the match ends, you got YouTube, more shameless promo. You're watching it right now, maybe, if you've gotten to this point. But yeah, I just have that and GG in there as well. Profile image is my logo, obviously, up in the left here. That is it for my settings. Those are the settings that I use every single day while I'm playing the game and that I use to do the things I do. The things that people apparently want to ask me my settings for so they can do as well. I don't know. I'm just a dude playing games. I'm a garbage gamer. I don't know why people want my settings, but there they are. So there you have it. Those are the settings that I use while I'm playing Krunker. Those are the things that have been working for me and that I have kind of like worked on over time, and I finally settled on what you just saw. So hopefully that helps answers everybody's questions who had any about my settings. I do want to say that settings are going to be personal preference. You can use mine as an example, but like I said, do not just take them and use them and think that it'll make you the best you can be. You're definitely going to want to fine tune it to yourself because there's a perfect sensitivity for everybody, perfect settings for everybody. There's nothing that works for everybody. It's going to be different for everyone, especially the sensitivity though. You might try mine and think that's way too fast, but then other people will have it and it'll be way too slow. I know I used to play a lot slower and then I raised it to much quicker, and I've been all over the place with sensitivity until I settled on this. So you can use mine to test and go from there to just fine tune it how you want. So that's it for today's video. Once again, if you have any other questions or if there was anything else that I didn't cover in the video that you wanted to know, I stream on Twitch every single week, so you can ask me there while I'm live. If you're looking for that, you can just use the link that's in the description below. And then as well as Discord, if you go there, you can also ask me in any of the voice channels or text channels in there. Link is also in the Discord. Link is in the Discord. Link is in the description for Discord below. But I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye. Those headshots. Make it a third. Let's make it a fourth. Ooh, ooh, keep it going. Keep it going. No.